Hello everyone. In lecture 1 and lecture 2, we have discussed about simple gate trains, compound gate trains and reverted gate trains. Today in lecture 3, I am going to discuss about epicyclic gate train. So in this lecture, I am going to explain the working of epicyclic gate train and a small problem on the epicyclic gate train. Now, here you can see the diagram. This is called an epicyclic gate train, this one. And here we can see a setup. This is gear A and this is gear B, right? And these two gears are connected with a lever, or we can call it as arm, and which is indicated with C. So this one end of arm is fixed at the center of gear A at O1 and other end is fixed at O2, right? So this is the epicyclic gate train. Now why it is called as epicyclic gate train? See here, for example, if this arm C is fixed, let us assume this arm C is fixed. So if arm C is fixed and if the gear A is rotating, either it may be in the clockwise and anti-clockwise direction, then this gear B also rotates. So that becomes what? A simple gate train. Is it right or not? Right? So whenever gear A rotates and gear B also rotates, this becomes simple gate train. But instead of fixing this arm C, if we fix gear A, then what is going to happen? Whenever gear B rotates, so gear B will be having rotation with respect to its center. As the gear A is fixed, this gear A cannot rotate, and here lever is free. Let us assume the lever is set to be free. So we are setting free here, limit lever. So whenever this gear B rotates, what happens now? This gear B rotates, and in addition to that, it will also revolve around gear A, where this O1 O2 of arm C will also having rotation. So such kind of arrangement is known as epicyclic gate train, right? Now the main application of this epicyclic gate trains is we can use it in back gear of lathes, we can use in differential gears, hoists, pulley blocks and wristwatches. So these are applications, that is back gear of lathe, differential gears, hoists, pulley and wristwatches, right? Now in the exam you may get problems on this epicyclic gate train, so we are going to discuss some problems on this. Before that, look at here. If NA is the speed of gear A and NB is the speed of gear B, this is speed of gear A and this is the speed of gear B, right? Let TA is the number of teeth of gear A and TB is the number of teeth of gear B. So according to simple gate train, we know that velocity ratios of speeds NA by NB is equal to TB by TA, or we can also write like this: NB by NA is equal to TA by TB. So this I have written in order to remain once again, because we use these formulas in the next following topic, right? Now you can see next one is here, velocity ratios of epicyclic gate train. Velocity ratios of epicyclic gate train. So how to find velocity ratios? See here, what is the necessity of this studying this topic velocity ratio means. For example, in this epicyclic gear train, you know the speed or NB of gear B, and you know the RPM of C, then we can easily find out the speed of A. Or if you know the speed of A and speed of C, we can find the speed of B. So for identifying such things, we need to discuss some topic that is called as velocity ratios of epicyclic gear train. Now, I already told you, let TA is the number of teeth of gear A and let TB is the number of teeth of gear B. Now, in this topic, you have to keep in mind that consider anti-clockwise rotation as positive, and clockwise rotation as negative. You may get it out why anti-clockwise positive or clockwise negative. You can also consider anti-clockwise as negative or clockwise as positive. Means, for example, if you consider B, it is rotating in the anti-clockwise. So that speed is indicated with positive symbol. And if it is rotating in the anti-clockwise, gear A will be rotating in the clockwise. Then we have to consider it as negative symbol like that. So we have to put some properties like this. So consider anti-clockwise as positive and clockwise as negative. Now you can see this table here, right? Now we have a table. This table is very much important to solve the problems on this epicyclic gear trains. So for every problem you must draw this table and you have to remember all these 4 points on the table. Okay, see here, this is step 1. We can see the first row, and next one is condition of motion, and next one is revolutions of elements. Revolution is nothing but speed or RPM, we can call it. You can see here arm C. So in the first column we have about arm C. So arm C revolutions. In second column we have gear A, and in the third column we have gear B, right? So in the step 1 you can see arm C is fixed and gear A rotates plus 1 revolution anti-clockwise. He has clearly mentioned anti-clockwise. If it is anti-clockwise means we have to write plus. Why we have to write like this? I have considered anti-clockwise rotation as positive and clockwise rotation as negative. That is the reason, as the gear A is rotating in the anti-clockwise, I am writing plus 1 revolution. Now how to fill this remaining blocks? Let us see. What is the first condition we are having here is arm C is fixed, means this arm C is fixed. So if the arm C is fixed, does it have any revolutions? No. So we have to write 0. Next, what are the revolutions made by gear A? Here see, arm C is fixed and gear A rotates plus 1 revolutions, that is in the anti-clockwise. As it is in the anti-clockwise, I am writing plus 1 here. Now what about the speed of gear B? So how to get the gear B? See, I have written here a formula. Here you can see NA, that is gear A is 1, that is the revolutions of gear A is NA is 1. How to get NB? Or you can use this formula. NA is equal to 1. How to get NB? Substitute NA is equal to 1 in this formula, then you are going to get NB like this. I am writing here. You can see from there NB is equal to, right, TA by TB into plus 1. Why? Because this has gone to this side. As NA is equal to 1 revolution we have taken, and I have written this NA to here this side. So we got NB is equal to TA by TB into 1. So we can write like this simply. It is TA by TB. That is NB is equal to TA by TB. But there is a small logic here. What he told, consider anti-clockwise rotation as positive and clockwise rotation as negative. Now in this epicyclic gear train, here gear A is having plus 1 revolution. Plus 1 revolution, plus indicates what? It is rotating in the anti-clockwise. For example, if this is rotating in the anti-clockwise, what is the direction of rotation of B? That will be in the clockwise. So for clockwise rotation, what we have to take? For clockwise rotation, we have to take negative symbol. Now, this speed of B, that is NB, will be minus. Why I have taken minus means, if this gear A rotates in the anti-clockwise, we are using positive symbol here, and this is rotating in the clockwise, we have to use negative symbol here. So that is the reason I have written NB is equal to TA by TB. So we have to write minus TA by TB here. That is the first thing. Next, you can see the second point here. Again, arm fixed, that is arm C here. Arm C fixed, and gear A rotates plus X revolutions, means instead of 1 revolution, it is rotating X revolutions. Plus indicates what? It is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. So arm C is fixed. So again it will be 0. And instead of plus 1, we have to write plus X. And here minus TA by TB into X. Why I have written X here? Because instead of NA is equal to 1 here in this formula, we have to write NA is equal to X. Why? Because speed of gear A is X here, is equal to TA by TB. So that means NB is equal to TA by TB into X, and we have to take minus. Why we have to take minus here? Again, this gear will be rotating in the clockwise. If the A is rotating anti-clockwise in X number of times, and this will be rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, we have to take it as negative. So I have written negative as this here. Now third column, add plus Y revolutions to all the elements. So for all the 3 columns, add Y by revolutions. These Y revolutions are made by arm C. Y. Now you can add to the second and third column. So 0 plus y, we are going to get y here, and y plus x, we are going to get y plus x. Here you are going to get y minus of TA by TB into x, right? So this is the tabular column, which is very helpful in solving the problems related to epicyclic gear train. And remember that the last column formulas are useful. These formulas are only useful for solving the problems. That means you don't neglect this one. Because why I'm saying like this means, if you don't have these 3 rows, we cannot get the final formula. If you want to get the final formula, these are mandatory, but we have to use only this final formula to get the solutions. So in order to understand the application of this tabular column velocity ratios, let us look at into a small problem. And here's the problem. So in an epicyclic gear train, the diagram is given here. In an epicyclic gear train, an arm carries 2 gears. So this is the arm. So let us say this center is O1 and this center is O2. An arm carries 2 gears A and B having 36 and 45 teeth respectively. So he has given A is having 36 teeth and B is having 45 teeth. So right here, solution I am writing. So I am mentioning TA is equal to 36 and TB is equal to 45. Next, if the arm rotates at 150 rpm, here mentioned arm is rotating with 150 rpm. So this arm, which is rotating in 150 rpm in the anti-clockwise. So if it is in the anti-clockwise, we have to take it as positive in the anti-clockwise direction about the center of the gear A. So with respect to this center of gear A, this arm is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with an RPM of 150. Okay, which is fixed. Which one is fixed? A. Here A is fixed. So when the A is fixed, this arm is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with an RPM of 150. Now first thing we have to identify is determine the speed of gear B. So gear A is fixed and arm is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with a speed of 150 RPM. We have to identify the speed of gear B. So in order to identify the gear B, again look into the table. Here, what is the variable which is used to represent the speed of arm? That is y. So what is the speed of arm here is 150. So we have to write y is equal to 150. I am writing here. Below I am writing here. Y is equal to 150 RPM. I am taking positive. Why I am taking positive? Because this is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. Next. Here, one more thing he has mentioned is gear A is fixed. Gear A is fixed. What is the formula for gear A in the last column? That is y plus x. So as the gear A is fixed, it is having 0 revolutions. So you have to take, this is the formula for RPM of gear A, that is y plus x, which will be equal to 0. So write y plus x is equal to 0. So but we know that y is equal to 150 RPM and y plus x is equal to 0. So from this, if you substitute this y value here, then we are going to get, I'll write here, x is equal to minus 150. You can see x we got here as minus 150, right? So minus indicates clockwise. Next, what is the final thing we have to identify? Determine the speed of gear B. So we have to find the gear B speed. So for finding the gear B speed, we have the formula, that is y minus TA by T into x, right? So I'm directly writing speed of, speed of B, that is NB is equal to, we have this formula, you can see here, y minus of TA by TB into x, that is NB is equal to, what is the y value here? We have y is 150 minus, what is TA? We have 36, TB we have 45, and what is x? We have minus 150. So the minus into minus we are going to plus, so we are going to get here the RPM as 270 RPM. This is the first solution, that is the speed of gear B if A is fixed. Now in the second case, he has asked one more thing, that is if the gear A instead of being fixed makes 300 RPM in the clockwise direction, what will be the speed of gear B? So here, instead of being fixed, it is having some RPM in the clockwise direction. That RPM is 300 RPM, and whenever this is rotating in the 300 RPM and the arm is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, what is the speed of gear B? So again we have to use the same column, but the small change here is, in previous case here we have taken y plus x is equal to 0. What is y plus x? Y plus x is nothing but speed of gear A. But in the second case, he has given if the gear instead of being fixed makes 300 RPM. So we have to take y plus x is equal to 300. And remember one thing, it is rotating in the clockwise direction. So if it is clockwise direction, we have to take y plus x is equal to minus 300, right? And we already know from this y is equal to 150. Y is equal to 150. If you substitute y value here in this formula, then you are going to get x is equal to 150 plus x is equal to minus 300. If you take 150 towards right side, you are going to get minus 150. Minus 150 minus 300, you are going to get minus 450 RPM. So x is equal to this much and y is equal to 150. Now we have to get the again speed of NB. So again we know NB is equal to, what is y value? We are going to write as it is 150 minus, what is TA? 36 by 45 into, so instead of x 150 we have to write x is equal to 450 here for the second case. Then you are going to get 510 RPM. So this is the solution. Thank you.